Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining me today. Oh, wow. It's such an honor once again to be here with you. Oh, I missed you all last week. It wasn't possible for me to be here last week. So, I don't know if anybody also missed this program. Well, thank you for joining me once again. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, where are you joining me from this good afternoon? Where are you joining me from? Just let me know in the comment sections. This is Growth Habits with Ngozi. Wow, and I'm your personal guide on the journey of growth. Yes, because I go on the journey with you. I don't just tell you about the journey. I don't just teach you the principles of going on the journey. I actually take you by the hands and I go on the journey with you. And it has been such an amazing, amazing journey so far. We have learned so much. We have seen things in a way that maybe we didn't think about them before, truly. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for this time. Welcome, Chinedu Benjamin. God bless you for joining me. I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome. So I want to believe that we're all ready for this next session, let me call it this next section of our journey of growth. Welcome, Ngozi Abanelo. It's good to always have you here with me. So from today, we're going to start a new series, and the series is going to be on different aspects of growth, yes, but this first aspect will be talking about emotional growth. Oh yes, because you see, in these times that we are in, you need to have a hold of your emotions. You need to understand why you feel what you feel. You need to understand how to deal with how you're feeling. Because if you're not able to do this in this time, with the way things are all over the world, it's not just in our country, Nigeria, all over the world. If you're not able to have a hold on your emotions, you will see yourself where you did not want to see yourself. Yes. So we're going to be talking about, for the next few sessions, we're going to be talking about growing emotionally, being able to understand your emotions. And generally, that is called emotional intelligence. You know, we have intelligence of the brain, knowing things. There are other aspects of intelligence, but we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence for the next few sessions. I'm sure you're wondering, I did not do the recap. I've decided I will not do that long recap this session, but I will now recap each series. So as we have started the emotional growth series, I will recap each of the sessions within the emotional growth series. So since this is the first session, there's nothing to recap yet. Okay, so as I said, we're going to be talking about emotional intelligence this afternoon, and this is very key. As I said, is so important because a lot of things are happening around. People are facing so many things. Welcome, Kevin Grace. Nice to have you this afternoon. So many people are having, a lot of issues, a lot of challenges, and sometimes the problem, good day. Thank you. A lot of times the problem is not with the issues we are going through. It's not with the problems we are facing. It's not with the challenges that surround us. Many a times, the issue is with how we handle it, how our emotions affect us. Because you can't really help what somebody else does. You can't affect someone else's actions to a large extent. You can't affect how somebody else reacts to something most times. You really can't. But you see, you can affect and you can decide how you react to everything. You can decide how you approach every issue. And truly, that is what makes the difference. It's not the difficulty that we face. It's not how complicated the matter is. No, it's how you react to it. Your reaction to issues, your reaction to the challenges, your reaction to the matter that surrounds you, or the difficulties you're going through, or the challenges that are facing you, is your reaction that determines how far you go, or that determines what happens in your life and in your situation. So we are going to be talking about emotional intelligence. And truly, I've looked within the people that I know, within my sphere of influence, within my circle of people generally, and in the society as a whole. And one thing I've discovered is that a lot of people lack emotional intelligence. We have street smarts, we have school smarts, we know what to do because we went to school. We have native intelligence, that is called. We understand things, but when it comes to dealing with our emotions, especially in this part of the world, maybe because we are taught to believe that you shouldn't really feel too much. And to an extent is right. I think part of the challenges that's facing I think they call them the first world, yes, is that they are too much in their feelings. They're actually too much in their feelings, and that is why you're having all the things that you see. But there is something to be said for understanding your feelings, understanding why you feel the way you feel, and then being able to deal with those feelings. So generally, in a simple, because I like to break things down as much as possible, I like to break things down to a way that no matter who you are, no matter what level you are, you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. So emotional intelligence, and when we hear it, it sounds like such a big word. So what does it mean? It's just a skill, first of all. It is a skill, and it is learned. It's a skill that you will learn. It's not, many of us are not born with emotional intelligence. Most people, we are not born with it. We learn it. Some people have a head start because maybe they just came out more sensitive. They're more in touch with their feelings naturally. But even with being in touch with your feelings, you can still lack emotional intelligence. So it's a skill, it's an ability, it's something you can develop, and it's just the ability to understand, to recognize, and to manage your emotions. First, understand, recognize, even interpret your feelings. First, manage your feelings, and then to be able to do the same for others. So emotional intelligence, yes, is just the ability to understand, manage your own emotions as well as the emotions of others. And you begin to wonder, I can understand managing my own emotions. How do I manage other people's emotions? How do I do that? What do I do to be able to manage other people's emotions? And really, when you are able to understand yours, it's easier to be able to manage others. Because when you understand why you feel the way you feel, yes, recognize, understand, manage your emotions. That is the ability, the skill, that is emotional intelligence. And at the same time, be able to manage those of others as well. So when you are able to recognize your emotions, you are able to understand, why do I feel the way I feel? And you are able to manage how you're reacting because of how you're feeling. It becomes easier to also manage others. It becomes easier to also manage the emotions of others. Now, this does not mean that you can tell people how to feel. No. You can't tell people how to feel. But you can react differently to how they are behaving because you understand what is behind it. So that is the aspect of managing other people's emotions. That is what basically that means. It's an important skill, like I said, to have. Is very important. It comes in handy in every facet of life. It comes in handy when you're dealing with family. It comes in handy when you're dealing with friends. It comes in handy when you're in the office. It comes in handy when you're in church. It comes in handy in every facet of life. I can't even think of what aspect of life that you will not need emotional intelligence in order to get through. So it's a skill that we should all endeavor to develop. It's a skill that we should all try to be able to have. It's a skill we should work on, because it will get you through a lot of things. It will help you overcome a lot. To help you overcome a lot. Why should we even bother about emotional intelligence? Are there things, specific things that it helps us with? Of course. One, if you want to be a leader. Because most times the aim of our trying to grow and improve ourselves and develop ourselves is so that we can be able to lead others. If you intend at any time to lead in any way, you must have emotional intelligence. It is key, because it actually it allows you, gives you what you need to be an effective leader. Because one, you know why you're feeling what you're feeling, and you can understand to a large extent why others are feeling what they're feeling. It will now help you be able to put yourself in their shoes to an extent and understand what is happening with them. So for you to be an effective leader, welcome, Pastor Bridget. Greetings, ma. Welcome. So glad to have you join us this afternoon. Yeah, so for you to be an effective leader, you must possess emotional intelligence. It goes without saying. You have to. You have to. Because if you're not able to manage your emotions, you can't lead people. Because people are interesting. People are funny. People don't want to be led. They don't want to be led. Everybody wants to be their own boss. Everybody wants to do their own thing. I don't know if we have noticed this generally about people. Everybody wants to do their own thing. Nobody wants to follow anyone else. So for you to be an effective leader, for you to be able to lead people, you must possess emotional intelligence. You have to master your emotions. Because if people will upset you, people will upset you. They will make you do what you never expected you would do. They will cause you to react in ways you never thought possible. But when you possess emotional intelligence, when you are able to understand your emotions, see that this is the number one aspect of emotional intelligence and the most important aspect. Understand your emotions. Why do I feel the way I feel? Most of us don't give that thought. We just, I'm angry. Why are you angry? What is it about what happened that made you angry? Why? Why are you angry? You're not angry because of what the person said. No. That is not why you're angry. You're not angry because of what the person did. No. That is truly not why you're angry. You're angry because something in the way the person said it or something about the person is bothering you. If you can understand that, if you can take the time and understand why you feel the way you feel, the work is more than half done. The work is more than half done. Oh, Josephine, sorry, I almost called you Mama. Welcome. Glad to have you here this afternoon. Joy Mokeka, welcome. Good to have you all here. So I was saying that to be a good leader, to be an effective leader, you must possess emotional intelligence. It goes without saying. The best leaders, all these people that we look up to, that we feel, oh, this person is such an awesome leader, he leads men. Check it. He has emotional intelligence. He understands his emotions. He's able to manage his emotions. He's able to also understand and manage the emotions of others. Okay, so one of the benefits of emotional intelligence, it makes you a very effective leader. You people will be wondering, how are you doing it? Like, I remember one time someone asked me in an office where I used to work, how is it that everybody just follows you? It's not as if, you are the best accountant ever. And truly, I was not. It's not as if you're not even friendly. It was like, you're not even friendly. So why is it that if you say, let's do this, people just accept and do it? And it's not truly, it wasn't because I understood that, it was that I had a level of emotional intelligence. I was able to a large extent to understand my feelings. Why is this action affecting me like this? Without, I didn't waste energy blaming the other person. Gift or Masirichi, welcome. Oke Odunze, welcome. So glad to have you here this afternoon. So I did not waste energy. And mark my words, I did not waste energy on blaming the other person or the other persons for whatever it is they did. Once somebody annoys me, the first thing I do is sit back. Why did this get to me? What was it about whatever the person said, whatever action the person took? What is it about this thing that is upsetting me personally? Because somebody else may have the exact same thing happen, and they might not be as upset. They may not have taken it personally. So what is it about this action this person took, this word this person said? What is it about it that upset me? That is always the first question I ask myself. And when I'm able to understand what is it about this thing the person did or said that upset me, then I can work on it. Because see, the person's actions are not relevant. It's my reaction to the person's action. When someone comes up to me and does something they feel, their intention is to upset me, of course. Their intention could be to annoy me. Their intention could be to, turn my world upside down. That could be the intention. I'm not trying to excuse people's bad behavior. But when they do it and it doesn't have the desired effect, what do you think will happen? The person will, in fact, they will reduce their trying you. Let me use that expression. When people do things they feel should annoy you and it doesn't, they have to go back and re-strategize now. They have to go back and think again. Why was this woman not upset? Why did this person not react the way I expected? This applies so much even in our spiritual walk. Because I always tell people, the devil's activity, his work, is to look for your trouble. That is his job description. The Bible tells us that it's his job description. But when he comes at you and he doesn't elicit the reaction he's expecting, does he not go back? He steps back a bit and re-strategizes. And that period of his own re-strategizing is your own period to move ahead. So, and also applies in our relationships with people. When they don't get the reaction they expect from you from their own actions, they have to go back and re-strategize. And while they're re-strategizing, you're moving forward. You're moving forward. So it's very, very important to understand why we react the way we react to certain things. Don't just say, this is just me. No, it's not just you. Oh, this is my temperament. Yes, it's your temperament, but why? What about that situation riles you up? What about that word the person said upset you? What is it? If you're able to dig deep and understand this, dealing with people's, I'm careful with the words, foolishness becomes easier. You find that you can deal with whatever people dish out, no matter their intention. You will not waste energy on blaming them. You will not waste energy on, getting upset at whatever it is they did. You will better spend your energy to calm yourself down and move forward. Okay, so the next thing about emotional intelligence is that it helps and it aids communication. Mark Otobon, wow, welcome. It's been years. How are you doing? It's good to have you here. All right, so emotional intelligence helps you to communicate better. In fact, it's like I'm going to say this so many times today. When you understand why you're feeling how you're feeling, it's easier to put it in words. It's easier to put in words what you understand than what you're still struggling with. So you can communicate better with people when you understand your own emotions, and by extension, you also understand why they are possibly acting the way they are acting. I remember I told us a story here about a former colleague that, for some reason just was antagonistic towards me. And I didn't know why. I did not know why the antagonism. I didn't understand the reasoning for it. And I could have chosen the path of quarrel, or the path of let's do this. We know how we are. Let's do this. Who does not know how to keep malice? Who is that person that does not know how to give it back? We all know how to do it. But I felt there's something behind this. She cannot just be lashing out at me for no purpose. There's a reason. Something is behind it. So I took time to find out a little bit more about her, asked questions of her friends, those people I felt were her friends in the office, and those people that worked closer with her than myself. And I found out one or two things about her, and I realized that this was just an attention-seeking mechanism. She didn't really have a problem with me, per se. Her problem was that she felt I did not give her attention. I don't know if we understand that. She felt I gave other people attention. I related with other people to a large extent, and I didn't relate with her. And she felt left out. Just imagine that. Just imagine that. That was the whole basis of the antagonism. When I dealt with that, when I began to give her small attention, of course, I will not turn my whole life upside down because of her. Doesn't even make sense. But I began to, in the morning, how are you? How was your night? Little things. Oh, I heard you're doing so and so. How is it going? Oh, I heard this. How is, just little tweaks to our relationship. It's not that, she was, if I didn't relate with her, my world would end. No. It's not that if I didn't relate with her, anything would happen. I could have well ignored her and moved on with my life. Nothing would have happened. The only thing that would have happened is that I would have lost that one person. Okay, so I found out these little things about her, and I just changed a little tweaks, like I said, little tweaks in my relationship with her. And in the end, we did not become great friends, in case you think that's what I'm going to say. No, we did not become pally. She did not become my PFF. No, she did not. But our relationship changed, and her antagonism changed. She was no longer always looking for my trouble. She was no longer always doing things that upset me. Did that not make my own life easier? Yes, it did. It made my own life easier in that office. It made things much smoother for me. I didn't have to worry about that one source of trouble. You see the benefits of emotional intelligence. Yeah. My God, Penny, welcome. I'm glad you joined us this afternoon. Mrs. Regina Obiagu, you're welcome. Welcome. Glad that you joined us. So, emotional intelligence aids communication. When you understand, for example, that this person has a fragile ego, the other person you're dealing with, you know that the way you will talk to the person is different. You might pass across the same information you would have passed across to the next person, but how you frame it, because you understand that this person has a fragile ego, will be different. So it aids communication. It makes for effective communication. It makes for communicating better with people. Then another benefit of having emotional intelligence is that you know yourself. There's nothing like self-knowledge. There's nothing like self-knowledge. Man, know thyself. There is nothing like self-knowledge. If you can understand you, understand how you work, understand how you function, understand the little things about you, 50% of the work of life is done. It's done. So it's important, and it is a benefit of emotional intelligence that a benefit of emotional intelligence that you know yourself. You begin to understand you. You begin to know what makes you tick. You begin to know the things that work for you, the things that don't work for you, why they work, why they don't work. Self-knowledge is one of the biggest benefits of emotional intelligence. Self-knowledge. See, when you know yourself, someone else cannot define you. Someone else cannot define you. When you know yourself, someone else cannot tell you who you are. Someone else cannot tell you how you should be or how you should react. Nothing, because you know yourself. You understand your feelings. You understand why you're feeling them. And you're able to manage them properly. So self-knowledge is a very good and important benefit of emotional intelligence. And akin to that is self-control. When you understand your emotions, you can control how you react to things. You can control how things affect you. Like I said in the example I gave, I could have chosen violence, as they say, with that young lady. Because this person was a young lady, much younger than myself. So it's not even as if maybe she was my boss or anything. No. She was a subordinate. But I determined, let me also could, because the past tense, I determined my relationship with her. I chose how that relationship played out. I chose. It was my choice. I was able to control myself, my emotions, my reactions, to the extent that she got tired of trying to upset me. I don't know if you have ever gotten to the point where somebody is tired of trying to make you angry and decide to rest. So we got to that point where she saw that all her tactics were not affecting me. They were not working. They were not coming along the way she expected. She was not eliciting the emotion she wanted. Nothing. So she rested. And we became friends. It's not like I said, we didn't become best of friends, but we began to relate freely. There was no more friction, which made my own life better. So, self-control. Self-control. Tini, welcome. Tini Ojo, welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you here this afternoon. I hope I am communicating this afternoon. I want to believe that we are getting something from all that I am saying. Hope Rising, Wogu, welcome. I'm glad that you chose to join us this afternoon. Yes, like I said, honestly, I don't take for granted anyone that shows up or the ones that watch on the replay. It is such an honor that you chose to spend this 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour with me. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. So we're talking about self-control as a benefit. as a benefit of emotional intelligence, being able to control how you react to things. Truly, as I am here today, I told somebody one time that I don't even know what is that thing that will upset me to the extent that I lash out. It doesn't mean I don't get angry. It doesn't mean people don't do things that annoy me to the, as it is, inside, very inside. It doesn't mean people do it all the time. All the time. But once it happens, my first reaction is to sit back. Why is this upsetting you? What about this situation is annoying you? What about this action this person took is upsetting you? What is it? And by the time I analyze that in my heart, in my mind, I'm able to come out with a reaction that is just better. You see, when you react in the spur of the moment, most decisions you take in the heat of emotions, most of them don't end well. Most of them, they don't end well. So it's always good to step back. Just take a deep breath if that's what you need to do. Because there are some things people will do to you and you do have to do before you open your mouth. Otherwise, fire everywhere. Fire everywhere. So that even action of taking that deep breath shows that you understand yourself, you understand your emotions. And because you understand your emotions, you now react better. Okay, so self-control. Another benefit of emotional intelligence is, how do I put this? Okay, stress management. You can manage your stress levels. Because you're not allowing things to rile you up. You will not have high blood pressure. You will not. Unless, your health is bad, but you will not have high blood pressure because you are getting angry, riling yourself up. You will not. You'll be able to manage stressful situations better. It doesn't even matter. People say, it's a high stake. This office is dog eat dog, everybody. Yes. Everywhere is active action, yes. In the midst of all that action, in the midst of all that activity, you can experience calm and act from that place of calmness. Emotional intelligence. It can help you manage your stress truly so that you are not stressed over nothing. Who wants to be stressed over nothing? But that is what most of us do. We actually think we are stressing over important things. Most times we are stressing over nothing. Over something that you can't even change. Something you can't even affect the outcome. You're now giving yourself high blood pressure, hypertension over it. Why? Why? Okay, so emotional intelligence. Understand yourself, understand your emotions. Always ask yourself, why am I reacting like this? Don't ask, why is this person doing this thing to me? It's not important. It really isn't. Their own intention is not important. Because whatever they intend is how you react that determines whether their intention comes to pass or not. So, take time. Just take a second. I have situations that happen to me personally, and what I do is I remove myself, actually walk away. And people, that shows weakness. It's not true. Not always. Let me not say it's not true. It's not always a sign of weakness when you walk away. For me, it's not a sign of weakness because when I walk away, I gather my thoughts. People say, you didn't, when the person gives you, you give back in. It's not always. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to walk away. Because staying there will cause you to be angry, will cause you to be upset, will cause your blood pressure to rise, will cause you to say something that tomorrow you would regret. So why put yourself through that? So, emotional intelligence helps you to manage stress. helps you to manage stress, because you now determine what you react to. Can you imagine where you have gotten to the point where you determine what you react to? Can you just imagine that life? Can you imagine the kind of peace you would have when you determine what you react to? And not only that, you also determine how you react to it. And that is what emotional intelligence teaches us. That is what emotional intelligence brings to us. That is the benefit of emotional intelligence. It also helps you connect better to people, truly, because people want to be understood at the basest. People want to be understood. They don't want to feel like they are not relevant. They don't want to feel like they don't matter. People want to be understood. And if you're able to put yourself in people's shoes, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so there are about 5 aspects of emotional intelligence. Yeah, 5. And in the sessions to come, we'll take each of those aspects and we'll talk about them in detail. We'll try to get a better understanding of each of those aspects of emotional intelligence, and that should help us. I want to believe by the time we finish those 5 sessions, we will be emotionally intelligent and we'll be gurus at handling our emotions. So the remaining, this is like an introduction. Today is just an introduction for us to have a basic understanding of what emotional intelligence is all about. As I said in the beginning, this session or this series will be on emotional growth. How do we grow emotionally? And to grow emotionally, you need to apply and imbibe and possess and practice emotional intelligence. That is the only way you can grow emotionally. So the 5 aspects of emotional intelligence, the aspects they call elements. Yes, that's the word they use. 5 elements of emotional intelligence. They are self-awareness. That's know thyself. Self-awareness, self-regulation, self-control. It's the same thing as self-control. Self-awareness, know yourself. Know your emotions, understand why you feel how you feel. Godfrey, welcome. Glad to have you here this afternoon. I'm so glad you chose to join us today. So I was talking about the 5 elements of emotional intelligence, and it's on this note we'll end today's session, and then next Tuesday we'll begin with the first one, that is self-awareness. So the 5 elements: 1, self-awareness, know yourself. 2, self-regulation, control, self-control. That's the second element of emotional intelligence. Number 3 is empathy. Empathy. The ability to put yourself in other people's shoes and understand where they are coming from. Empathy. Number 4, social skills. Being able to relate with people, and all that comes with that. And number 5, motivation. So these are the 5 elements of emotional intelligence. If you can master these 5 things, these 5 elements, you will be an emotional intelligence guru. You will be, king of your emotions. You'll be able to determine what you feel when you feel it. I know that sounds like, oh my goodness, how is that possible? But really, to a large extent, you will be able to determine what you feel. There are times that people say things to me that annoy me. That is, my head is popping corn. You're doing bing, bing, bing. I don't know if it happens to us. And my blood pressure is already rising. I can feel my blood boiling because of something someone did or something someone said. And before, I've always been someone, I don't react immediately. That one na carry come, as they say. I don't react immediately to anything. But the difference between the way I used to be and now that I have some level of emotional intelligence is that before, I will keep calm, but I will plan. My revenge will be sweet. My revenge will be sweet. And if they tell you that it is me that plotted this revenge and carried it out, you that I'm doing the thing on will not agree. You will say, nope, it's not this woman, but it's me. But now that I have a level of emotional intelligence, and of course I cannot remove the aspect of being a Christian, the aspect of the work of Christ in my life. I can't take that away from this. If you upset me, my going back is not to plot and plan how to deal with you. It's to get a rein on my emotions so that by the time I come back to you and tell you what you did, you can hear me and you can understand what I'm saying. Because this is one thing we miss out when we react in anger. The other person does not hear you. They hear with the ear, but they're not hearing. We know what it means that somebody, they hear you. They hear with their ears, but it's in this ear, out the other. But when you go back and you deal with what is upsetting you about what this person said, by the time you talk to the person, you're talking with facts. You're not talking with emotions. You're giving the person the real deal. This is what you did. This is how what you did affected me, and what have you. And most times, except for those people that are just devils, we know them. Except for those kinds of people, when you approach people like that in a calm manner, stating your points, making your points, most people would listen. Most people would understand. Most people would react right. So, with that, I come to the end of our session today, an introduction to emotional intelligence. I hope I was able to pass across some information to us. I hope I was able to help us understand a few things about emotional intelligence. We will continue for the next, I think, 4 or 5. Okay, 5 for sure, because we have to talk about the 5 elements of emotional intelligence. So the next 5 sessions will be dedicated to emotional growth. And either in between or at the end, somewhere in there, we'll have a question and answer session so that we can ask questions and discuss about the things we have learned and what the things we have learned have helped us to achieve. All right, so do we have any comments before we call it a day this afternoon? What did you learn? What stood out for you? What are you going to apply? Because very important to me is that we apply the things we learn. We don't just listen, and when I talk my talk and go, it ends there. So what did you learn? What is your take home? What will you apply from the things that we have talked about? Please let me know in the comment section if you have anything that you want to say, anything that stuck with you from what we have discussed today. Please let me know in the comment section. Yeah, as I said, that brings us to the end of today's Growth Habits with Ngozi. See you all again next week. By the grace of God, we will begin the session on self-awareness. Self-awareness. That is what we're going to deal with next week, Tuesday. So here's believing that we'll begin to manage our emotions. We will begin to understand. It's not even just to manage, we will begin to understand our emotions. We will begin to recognize our emotions. We will begin to interpret our emotions, and then we'll begin to manage our emotions, because it will help us. It will help you. It will help me. It has helped me and is still helping me. I've not mastered it. I am still working on it. There are still aspects. One aspect that I personally am still, it's not struggling with, but I'm still fine-tuning in myself, is empathy. Be able to put myself in other people's shoes so that I can understand how they're feeling. And also motivation, because when we talk about motivation, it's self-motivation. It's not necessarily the one coming from outside. It's being able to, from the inside of you, motivate yourself to do the things that you need to do. So thank you for joining me this afternoon on Growth Habits with Ngozi. See you next week, Tuesday, same place, same time, right here on Facebook Live. Remember to join our group. Follow our page, Growth Habits. Follow us on Instagram, Growth Habits with Ngozi. Follow us on TikTok. Yes, we have a TikTok channel. Wow, we're moving quickly to our permanent site. We have a TikTok channel. Follow us on TikTok, Growth Habits with Ngozi. And yes, very soon we'll have our website. Yay! So all these things we're doing step by step, and we're getting to that place that we want to be. Okay, so thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. See you all again next week, Tuesday, 12 noon, right here on Facebook for Growth Habits with Ngozi. Have an awesome day. Bye.